I've been to a lot of grand openings, but this is definitely the coolest. I mean, I love your music. You don't just have a lot of rows just lined up. You got these really edgy tables. The food looks amazing. So I'm impressed, first of all, and could not be more delighted to be here this morning. To congratulate all the individuals you heard recognized by Eric and John from Blueberg and John, the chairman of AZ Bus Sales, and Steve Girardin and Gary Douglas and the whole gang, and Michael Cashman, our great supervisor here I've worked closely with, and all the legislators and our friends in Quebec. And I want to put a special emphasis on friends in Quebec, friends in Canada. We are your friends to the bitter end. Nothing happening in Washington can divide that common sense of purpose, the sharing of values, and really soulmates through our journey, because there's so many commonalities between our state and the provinces of Quebec and Ontario that we border over 450 miles with. And so that is a point of great pride for me. I will actually be in Quebec meeting the Premier and other governors just in a couple of weeks. And I look forward to continuing to deepen the ties, so you know we love Quebec. And also, I love Plattsburgh. I come up here as often as I can. This part of our state is so spectacularly beautiful. I actually am a boater. How can you not be a boater when you live in the state of New York? But I took a journey on the Erie Canal, the entire length, turned north, came up through the locks, came up to Lake Champlain, and had the most extraordinary journey just last summer. Totally incognito. You didn't know it was me. That was me out there trying to tie the lines and not get blown off the deck. So, but I think this is such an exciting day and a real statement of confidence. I believe in this region. The workers believe in it. People like Gary Douglas, our elected leaders. But sometimes you feel like, you know what, the winds of change are kind of hard. And as I watched the numbers and what's been going on in our North Country in the last 9 months, the whole talk of relationship with Canada, not in a positive way, or tariffs, and a lot of our friends from Canada feeling not as welcome here, or boycotting and not coming here, and it's having a real hit on our local businesses, hospitality, our little main streets are hurt. And so I feel that deeply. So to come here today and say something like this magnificent announcement where we're able to keep and expand jobs that are so critical, not just for the local economy, but critical for our emergence into the clean energy future with buses that are second to none. So you're all part of some great story that is unfolding here, that no matter what happens elsewhere, this is New York. We're proud, we're kind of bold sometimes, but we have a lot to be proud of. And the fact that you believed in us, believed in this region, made this decision is something I'll never take for granted. So I'm grateful to the entire leadership team and everyone who made this happen, but also the workers here. I know how hard it is. You know, get a little bit tougher weather than some other parts of the state. I kind of know what I'm talking about because I'm from Buffalo. It toughens you, right? It toughens. You can take on anything. And I come out of a world where manufacturing was everything. My grandpa lived the American dream after starting out in great poverty from Ireland because he got a job making steel with his hands at the Bethlehem steel plant. My dad worked there, his brothers worked there, everybody worked there. That was our bread and butter. So we are proud to be making things and building projects around the country and putting it in vehicles all over because of the hard work that was being done in my hometown. So I know what it's like when I'm looking at the workers here, that enormous sense of pride you have, that you're part of something that's making a difference. And when you see the buses roll off the line and know they're all over our state, transporting people to school or to a doctor's appointment, and just really just being so safe and secure, I hope that you just beam with pride at what you've created with your hard work. So I just want to give another round of applause to the workers here. You are the heart and soul of this company. You know, and people worked here for a long time, about 15 years, you know, showing up every day, punching the clock. And building thousands of buses. And as I said, the pride that comes from being here. But when Nova Bus announced they were shutting down, it was pretty devastating for this area. I know that. I felt it. I heard all about it. And people feared and assumed the jobs would vanish, and perhaps this magnificent state-of-the-art facility would be left to just decline. As I saw manufacturing, Bethlehem Steel still has buildings. They've been shut down for 40 years, kind of haunting you when a big company leaves and they just leave the remains almost like a skeleton. It mocks the local community, and it's hard to take. Believe me, I live this. But I said, I'm not letting that happen here. I know what that can do to the psychology of a community when you have to deal with that. So we are going to leave no stone unturned and to facilitate a smooth transition. And my gosh, in 7 months, it's extraordinary. But I literally called up the CEO of Volvo. Says, you're going to make this happen, okay? You're going to help facilitate new leadership that'll make sure we don't miss a beat, because these workers are everything to me. I want them taken care of. And so we've delivered on that. And that is something I'm really excited about and proud of as myself. And also, when I think about the different parts of the state, there's different identities. Like Rochester, you think of photonics and Eastman Kodak and all the Bausch and Lomb, and you think about the North Country, it's always world-class transportation manufacture. It just is. That's our brand up here. And we're going to continue leaning into that strength and that reputation. And it's really proud for me to know that there's over 1,000 people working out there. It has about a $150 million impact on our statewide GDP. But you know what, my friends? I think there's more room to grow. We have the space, we have the talent, we have the local community colleges and universities all within a short distance to train workers. I'm a firm believer in apprenticeship programs to give people skills. Never said you had to go to college necessarily to be able to have a great life here. Go learn the skills. And so we offer all that here. So I'm just getting started. And I want to make sure that this area, as we usher in the rebirth of manufacturing, it's not a dirty word to me. I love manufacturing. I have walked so many factory floors. I have touched more equipment and asked more questions. I'm fascinated by it. But you're innovating the future as well. This is not old school technology. You're using the latest and the greatest to make sure that our vehicles are safe and efficient and do their jobs and last a long time. And so I know that that's what we're going to continue doing here. So glad we could kick in a few bucks here. About almost $10 million in tax credits. There you go. A $2.5 million grant to seal the deal. But this is a real shot in the arm for this area. This really is a shot in the arm, and continues to foster that sense of pride and purpose that has defined this community for such a long time. And so I'm going to make sure that people know. Tell our friends elsewhere in Quebec, come on over, we'll go over there. We'll just keep that synergy going, that love and appreciation of each other. And I'm going to make sure that as we continue investing in others, you're joining Beta Technologies in Elstrom, other leading transportation manufacturers here. We make subway cars at Elstrom. And so you may not think about New York City affecting what happens up here too much, but it really does. Because when I can fully fund the MTA capital plan, it was a big dollar, I also knew that there'd be money from that being invested right up here as we continue manufacturing the subway cars that we need. So these are projects that I see the synergy of decisions made elsewhere and how we can use the talent we have here, the great buildings, the leadership that believes in this area, and a great group of individuals who put their heart and soul in their jobs every day. I'm going to keep being the person, your governor, who pulls it all together. And I will never forget the North Country. You are so important to me. I spent my childhood vacationing up here and camping up here and boating up here. I know the extraordinary quality of life, and any new employees that are coming here, they're going to fall in love with this area as well, I guarantee it. So it's a huge win for us. We're going to keep the North Country's economic engine humming and growing. And again, thank you for inviting me today, because I could not be happier to be any place in the whole state but right here, right now. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.